Okay, this is the video on participation. Now, I've never actually done a video on participation before. This is the first. In a sense, my participation policy has not changed at all. I really value your presence in this class, and I really want you to get the most out of this class that is possible. I know there are times in our academic careers where we take a class because we have to, right? And maybe this class was available and maybe you decided, well, I think I'll take it, it'll fulfill my credit, and that's it, right? And I guess and there's certainly a place for that. And I guess I'm asking about the value of us embodying ourselves in a classroom space in which we are not just here to get through to get a credit. It's not just sort of a utility, right? But rather there's a exponential increase in pleasure and in delight in a course when we're personally invested, meaningfully invested in learning and in doing our best and growing as people. I know for me, at least, as an instructor and a student, I um, try to be the kind of student that's cultivating curiosity and wonder and leaning into the course material. Um, there's always something, I think, in any course, I'm convinced, that we can find that we love, that tap into something that awakens delight in us. I think every course can probably, almost any course, I don't know, maybe not every course, but almost every course, there's something there for us to dig into and sort of delight in. So anyway, without further ado, I'm trying something different in the sense that participation, you don't get 100% participation grade just for showing up in class, right? What I've historically done and what I've historically done is basically I would take the number of classes that we've had in total, the number of times a student has attended. I take that number of times divided by the number of total, and that gives me my baseline participation grade percentage, right? And then, of course, depending on the student's engagement in class, whether it be in nonverbal and verbal, because I just want to be really clear too, every one of us is different, and we might be introverted, extroverted, we might be a little bit more shy, a little bit more bold. I think participation is going to look different, is going to look similar for everyone and different for everyone at the same time. So similar in the sense that we can all express, at least what I share in this document, a kind of engaged presence, right? So let's say you're quieter, you can still have an engaged presence, and it's noticeable when not just to an instructor, I think to yourself, to the instructor, and to your peers around you, when you are engaged, right? If you have an engaged presence, you're able to participate in cohort discussions, you're able to answer basic questions about the class. It's apparent when you were listening, for example, if someone addressed something, if I addressed something in class and you got it, as opposed to like if you come up after class and say like, and you ask a question that was already answered in class or something like that. These are all like symptoms of an engaged presence, right? Or not. Okay. And that doesn't necessarily mean verbalizing, all right, anything at all. So I just want to name that. But then also there's engaged action, right? There are times in which we are meant to be more active, participatory in the kind of classic sense of the word. Okay, and so this is sort of the level up from engaged presence, which is where we're engaging with dialogue, we're asking questions, we're hazarding an answer to a question. Maybe we're taking risks in verbal ways or even in nonverbal ways. I don't know, just I think you get the gist of that. I've said some things in the document there. And so what I'm doing this semester, and what my question on the educational vision reflection the fifth question that was, is to ask you to think honestly about your strengths and weaknesses in participation. And I guess I want to put most of that back onto you and to your cohorts, which is to say, the cohorts are designed to help you know and be known, right, by each other. And that can be knowing and being known in an intellectual, academic sort of way, but also a personal way, but also in the holistic educational way. In other words, like if I'm being educated, at least as I think of it, I'm not just educating, I'm not just like honing my ability to think or reason, but I'm also being educated to be a person in the context of a classroom, a little social order, if we were to draw from John Dewey, right? A little democracy. In which case, part of what my education's for is learning how to be embodied in those spaces, and to do my part to contribute to the whole, to the good of the whole. And so anyway, so the idea here is that you'll just check in and see how you're doing with yourself, check in with yourself, but also check in with each other in your cohorts and see how each other's doing and just encourage each other. Hey, you're doing a great job. I really think that you've grown in this area. It's pretty cool. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I will be interested in your feedback on this approach. So again, and by the way, you should not worry about your participation grade. Grades are meant to, I don't know, be some sort of indicator of student investment and student work and so forth. From my point of view, grading isn't just the class isn't a transaction, right? Like it isn't like I pay for this class, you give me a instructor, that kind of thing. We're all here, I think, to learn and to grow in this course content, but also as people. So this participation grade is as much my contribution to your success as it is yours to the success of yourself and the class as a whole. So that's sort of my philosophy of participation. It's symbiotic, right? It's reciprocal. So anyway, you can read more about that there. And if you have any questions, of course, you can surely ask. But thank you. Hope you have a great rest of your day.